I'll be talking a bit about the intersection of agrivoltaics and the federal government. Of course, it's the government has many departments, many programs. I can't speak on behalf of every department, but I can speak on behalf of my employer, which is CanMet Energy, which is operated under Natural Resources Canada. So what I've tried to do in a few of these slides is, because the topic is how government looks at APV, I've tried to collect a partial list of some of the programs, some of the departments whose interests could overlap with agrivoltaics. So I would speak from the perspective of CanMet, but of course there's also Agriculture Canada, which is quite interested in the topic. So just to give some background about CanMet, we're one of 4 centers. There are 2 CanMet centers in Ontario. There's one in Alberta, and there's one in Quebec. So I'm at CanMet Varennes, which is near Montreal. And we are primarily a renewable energy research and deployment center. And we're split into 4 departments, one of which is the Renewable Energy Integration Group. So the Renewable Energy Integration Group does mainly work to do with smart grids, also inverter technology, the solar resource, and then there's a PV subgroup which looks at PV performance in remote communities and also building integrated photovoltaics. So from the standpoint of agrivoltaics, this is also somewhat new for CanMet. The role that the center can play in this field would be to do with technology testing and demonstration. But we also are hoping to, we've hired a new employee to look at the agrivoltaic potential in different parts of the country. So we're gradually getting more involved in this field. And we are also hoping to set up a partnership with Agriculture Canada. We were contacted by them last year. They expressed interest in an agrivoltaic demonstration site in Lethbridge, Alberta. So it's my understanding that this project is still in the planning stages and they're seeking a private sector partner. And CanMet's contribution to this, of course, would be on the PV side of things. CanMet itself doesn't create or shape government policies directly, but we provide data and research results to those departments that do. So namely, that is the Renewable and Electrical Energy Division, REED, and OERD, which is the Office of Energy Research and Development. I'll just skip over quickly to a site that's operated by Agriculture Canada. It's the experimental farm in Ottawa. I'm not aware of any agrivoltaic projects here yet, but I thought I would include it in the slides as perhaps it may become some future collaboration site with, let's say, perhaps an upcoming project. So to get back to OERD, it is primarily a funding mechanism for renewable energy research and also for smaller scale renewable demonstration projects. So they currently invest in around 13 federal departments and agencies, and they also invest and provide support to small businesses, medium-sized corporations, etc. Over the past few years, OERD has invested around $500 million across 300 projects. And this has various effects from direct and indirect employment opportunities, scientific publications, patents, development of standards and codes, etc. And there's also the Smart Renewables and Electrification Pathways program. So this has mainly been to support PV and other renewable energy projects in different communities. And there's the Clean Energy for Rural and Remote Communities program, which is specifically targeted more to remote regions and supporting renewable energy projects there. So I'll just wrap up by citing some of the research that was done by Pierce's group, which really highlights, I know it's already been mentioned, but it really highlights the potential for agrivoltaics in Canada. Just 1% of the farmland converted to APV could offset between 25 to 40% of the countrywide electricity needs. One of my colleagues at CanMet recently completed a literature review of agrivoltaics, and I've also included some of her conclusions, 7 of her conclusions here. So I think a number of them we've already talked about: the need for interdisciplinary funding and collaboration, the need for standards at various levels, provincially and federally, and of course research from the university side and in the private sector. But I guess from the federal perspective, if I could focus on one thing that perhaps might first be of importance, I would say it's to raise awareness as well among the within the federal public service, particularly with those who shape policy. So to some degree, this could be an internal project. I think it's important at CanMet to try to disseminate information about agrivoltaics to different levels of government, so that there's a stronger knowledge base, and that this can help to inform, hopefully, policies at the federal level. And also, I think the awareness is external. So as we've talked about a lot today, I mean, there's a growing awareness of the potential of agrivoltaics among farmers, among businesses in the PV sector. And I think some of that will be detected, will be acknowledged at the federal level. And as there's more interest, this will be, the federal government will to some degree respond to that with direct policies, agrivoltaic policies, hopefully in the near future. So that wraps it up.